Welcome everyone to the seventh episode of the RedMist Podcast, Outfit Wars. I'm your host, Drakoy. I've been playing for RedMist since about 2013 and also Planside since then. Today we also have with us MrMurdok.
Hey, so Murdoch here, leader of Broken Arrow Company. Been playing since 2012. Happy to be here.
Then we also have buskala.
Right, so buskala, I been in RedMist since late 2015 and until 2016, and I quit and I came back in like 2021, and I was playing Air in Outfit Wars.
Then we also have the leader of Age, Gretchen.
Hi, yeah, I'm one of the leaders. I've been playing since 2012 and have been in Hydra since the very start in 2015.
And then we also have Schmiddy.
Hello everybody, I'm just a humble infantryman and I've been playing the game for about 10 years now, on and off in different clans and platoons here and there. And right now I'm playing for Hot.
Okay, let's probably first go to the I would say one of the games that MrMurdok played in, Bog versus Hot. How did that go, MrMurdok?
You mean the massacre of 2022? Yeah, I was there.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it was one of the matches that were had in Alpha Wars. I can't say I was very surprised with the outcome. I don't think it's a very well kept secret that Hot is one of the best teams on the server, if not like generally speaking. And I don't know. I had a plan, and that plan sort of worked. But when it came down to individual engagements, and how much can you hold a point against a objectively better force, we just sort of fell through. Didn't get warp gated though, so that's a plus.
yeah, and how I think you were squad leading in that, if I'm right, Schmiddy?
Platoon
Yeah,
leading.
that's right.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
were.
Schmiddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, did you guys prepare at all for this match of the Hot perspective, or did you just do like a regular game?
Yeah, of course we prepare, like people show up and we make a little plan and whatnot, but it's definitely gonna be more preparation for our next match, put it this way.
Mm-hmm. Like, MrMurdok, did you have any ideas how to like counter basically the air of Hot? Did any of them work out well?
How to counter their air? I mean, I leave most of the air planning to our air lead because, to be completely honest, I don't know anything about how to run like a proper air ball or how to run these engagements. That's totally out of my scope. I have a person who's like very experienced in this, and I just delegate to them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a plan, and like we had a sort of like, okay, what do we do if they do this, and how do we react if they do that? And we, as far as I know from what I've heard, like we did try to counter the hot air, and as far as I know, like the air-to-air engagement wasn't completely one-sided, and I hope Schmidty can correct me on this, you just had more. So even if our air-to-air was completely engaged with you guys, you still had people like air-to-grounding the infantry.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of separately in our leadership structure, or handled separately, but yeah, I mean completely one-sided, I don't know either, as I've been on the infantry side. I know that at some point you kind of like digressed into having like sky guards and stuff shooting out of the warp gate. I remember that call being made, which is very pop inefficient. But I mean, apart from it, I guess so. The real hiccups we had, I think, were more out of like your control. I think a lot of it was our mistakes, really. Like, for example, you were able to shut down our respawn options quite successfully on especially the last base.
Mhm.
and that for sure worked out in your favor, but that was mainly shortcoming on our side. I think we didn't we got a little bit sloppy there.
I think that when like you're getting into like this level of PlanetSide or like any game, whatever, it's not like when you're getting outplayed, it's not because one side is super better than the other. Like you said, like you got sloppy and we exploited that. Having said that, though, your win is completely like on you guys. I think Bach put out one of its better rosters, in my opinion, and we did try hard this as much as we could. And I can't say I'm 100% happy with the result, but I'm very happy that we at least managed to put up a fight.
Yeah, I think it's also maybe Buskala can talk a bit about that, because he flies himself for the RedMist Air team. Like, how is it to like basically fight a losing air battle, if that makes sense?
I mean, to begin with, it's very hard, like just keeping your motivation up, because you know what you're gonna go against. So you basically have to do like your complete best. I know that I saw some hot galaxies in the start, and I saw also that the cap on the middle base was like 20 seconds off. Like Bach got wiped off with 20 seconds, and I don't know if you guys had the deployed galaxy above, so you could just drop down.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, like basically, if you don't have enough to deal with those galaxies, they're like really good. You could see that in the other games with Dior, for example, that they utilize them very well.
Sorry, yeah, I just wanted to say that I think if you know you're gonna lose air, but you don't want to give it up, you want to keep contesting it, you have to make sure your pilots know what the goal is. And then I think you can prevent a lot of the frustration. Like, sure, it's never fun to like basically fight a losing battle, but if you tell people you're not gonna win air, you'll just have to keep trying not to give them control. I think people can deal a lot better with like having like just mentally can deal a lot better with that fight.
Yeah, I think if you expect to have a chance and then you get fully smashed, it drowns your motivation even inside the match, not even looking for the upcoming matches. But
I don't think there was like any air game so far that got completely smashed. It's basically that it just gets brittled down over time because nanites is a thing. And
I mean, I would interject. I would say you get completely smashed when like the other team has enough room to A to G and deploy galaxies properly. Like then you lost the air. Like sure you can pull like more ESFs from the warp gate or whatever, but that's just like at that point you lost the air, right? And so it's like whatever completely smashed means. I would say that like winning
grounded.
the air. What?
Being grounded is being completely smashed, in my opinion.
No, but that just means you run out of nanites.
No, or you cannot leave the warp gate, if that makes sense. Like basically that you control. Like I wouldn't say the nexus, but every base around it, you cannot even get to it with the. If
But
you cannot get,
it's not.
yeah.
Yeah, but look, if the team that is winning the air, right, like grounds you to your warp gate, that's actually not pop efficient, right? Like why would you like do that? Right, it's like no, you just want to give like that's the objective of the air is like to give room for the galaxies and the A to G people, and once the goal is accomplished, then that's it. Victory condition is met. You don't need to like round the warp gate. That's whatever, right? Like you see this, for example, also on the infantry side. No, like when we face a very inferior opponent like 3PG, right? The way we hold Nexus base is not that we like do a super mega like proper point hold, like some of us do. But you have people like Master Bob also that will just like just farm the spawn, even though that's not effective and way too dangerous because you can't get revived, right? It's like it's kind of in the same sense. It's just not effective. Like you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I guess it really depends who you play as well. For example, yeah, if you play something like 3PG, you can kind of like if you have the players that host has, you can kind of do what you want. you probably could not pull a single ESF and just have like Liberators, and you still had probably a best chance of winning. But that's like a different case. I would say maybe let's move on to the second game of this weekend, and that was Dior versus H. I myself did like not casting, but more choosing what camera perspective was chosen for that match. So we had like a little setup where we had 3 people spectating the game. Then I choose the cameras, and then we had 2 people casting it to try that out. I would say it was probably one of the most interesting matches to date so far for Cobalt.
Oh, 100%. It was close. It was intense. I really liked watching it.
It was also interesting on like a multitude of levels, right? The air game was consistently interesting, I think, rewatching the stream. The infantry game went back and forth. The map play was constantly happening. Like there was constant backcaps happening on all sides. Timers were ticking. Like I think that game just had everything because we weren't matched on like the same, like our infantry wasn't matched and our air wasn't matched, but overall as a strength of a team, I think we were relatively close.
Yeah, I think overall in general I think Dior pulled more air, but you were like able to keep them all busy in the air, so they weren't able to switch to air to ground. And I think that was like one of the major factions, like not letting your enemy switch, basically.
Yeah, for sure. The like there was only like 90 banditry kills in the game, which is pretty good if you consider that you're playing Dior.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of our pilots and very thankful for all the hard work they did.
I mean, I think Gretchen is a little humble here, though. Like, I mean, she's right. She said that the air, like they're asymmetrically matched in the sense that some aspects are stronger than others in the different teams. But I do think, and like kind of knowing some of the people that play it, and also like the caliber of some of the Hydra guys, I feel like if you guys had like the same amount of people from the very beginning and like showed up consistently and actually like cared more about Outfit Wars, I feel like you would curb stomp the ore like on any Monday, right? Like you guys, yeah.
I think we could, but the team, like when I built the team, I built it like a month before Overwatch started. I think I started inviting people. I very much built it as a hey, maybe 2 months, I don't remember, but I built it as a hey, let's just turn up on a day and play. I won't give you a paragraph to read before every match. I just give you instructions as a squad. You go off and play the game. And I like everyone that joined doesn't want to try hard. We've all played or most of us have played the game for a very long time. We've all participated in servers, match lanes, match 6v6, 12v12, all that stuff. We're all just chilling. Which might sound ridiculous to some people, because compared to how some people play, it's still incredibly sweaty. But to us, it's just like a normal level of play now, I guess.
I think I would say you didn't do much preparations for this match, but I would say like the players itself played it pretty sweaty, if that makes sense. Like
I think
they try hard in the game, but not like in the preparing phase. That makes sense.
I think I think that's fair, but I also think there's like a difference of that's just how most of those people play video games. They want to be the best, and they want to get better, and they want to keep improving. That's like the majority of our team. That's just a mindset thing. Like it's, yeah. But yeah, I think that's a fair analysis, what you said.
Yeah. Did you also watch the game, Schmiddy?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was had a very big grin on my face while watching it. I enjoyed it very much. I even predicted this. I think like I said, like a few like last week. I was asked like by Archie who I think will make the top 3, and I said that if Hydra actually like brings the people, I would say Hydra makes a second for sure and your third place. And I felt like that was maybe a cooked assessment, but looking back on it, that I was right.
That's a funny story, actually. We were missing a lot of our key players yesterday, and we had to get in a lot of like last-minute air ringers, especially. Like, I think we recruited like 7 or 8 pilots on the day before, and had like nothing set.
Yeah, I think it's interesting for H to be playing like this high level when you have like basically 8 new people. So maybe that's getting hot even a bit. Like if H can bring their A team, it's gonna be a very interesting match next week. I really hope they can.
It better be, better be interesting.
Because
Yeah, I feel bad for you. You guys didn't really have any competitive matches so far, did you?
No, not really. I mean, this will be like our highest chance of loss will be Hydra versus Hell.
It's kind of lame, honestly. That's like a testament to how bad the game still is at matching up teams.
I mean, I think I philosophized about this a little bit on like I have like a small podcast myself, and I thought about this for a while, and I think there just aren't enough players. Like all the good players in the game make about one team per server, and so you really can't like properly have like a 3 of the best match, right? Like how many people play the game? Like 4,000. No, and the top 1% are like 40 people or something. Right? Like, I mean, obviously they're not all bunched together, but you need 48 people for it, and birds of a feather flock together, no, and then I mean, it's kind of like what happened with T, that is like you want to play Outfit Wars, but like you need to have enough people. Okay, I'm just gonna grab those people.
Yeah. Oh, that was exactly what happened. I was like, I want to play this. We don't have enough people. I'm gonna ask Doc.
Exactly, yeah. I remember.
yeah, I think you have like, I would say a few tiers in Outfit Wars. You have like I would say like more. Dior is a bit in between like being the top and just like under it. I feel. I feel like S tier is probably hot, and then H super close to it if they have their main roster. And A tier probably Dior, pretty alone, I would say. Or like I guess you could keep us with it if you. It depends how big you go in A tier, you know. And Bok of course as well. Then the other teams are just, I feel, on a way different level. Like if you look at an RE4, a boys, something like that.
I mean, I think it's really hard to gauge because the disparity between the top and the bottom is so high, and it's also like who even are those outfits? No, like of course Hydra like remobilizes a lot of the like drags like people like Spot out of his crypt, but also mobilizes a lot of Americans, for example, no, and the same. I mean, for Hot, for example, we grouped up with ATM, no, like it's like the it's really hard to really pinpoint what are these teams. No, are they like a pure representation of like I don't know, like a Medk or X Tech skill fit, or are they and it's I don't know. But I do think that a lot of people, especially in Outfit Wars, don't understand the optimal way to play the game. You can see this
For
even
sure.
in the like even in the higher brackets. No, like Hot makes kind of a meme out of it. Like we run like jackhammer heavies, or just clown on people. But I do think that if shotguns and the current game meta wasn't the way they, that it is right now, the victory would be like way more curb stompy.
I think honestly, like I don't think that's even where the biggest mistakes happen at the like individual play level. I think the biggest mistakes happen when you look at people's map play. Like if you look at the Dior match versus Hydra, they made so many leadership mistakes and like map level mistakes. And I think you can see that in a lot of teams where they just don't have the experience from server smash, from lane smash, maybe from previous Outfit Wars even, where they don't understand how these formats work and how it's different from live.
It's like a mix of it all, no? I mean, like
Yeah, for
Dior
sure.
would probably like cope hard that like Lightwolf got like yeeted out of the game, I think.
Oh, was he the platoon leader?
Yeah, but I think it
see.
wouldn't have mattered much. I think so, because like I agree with you partially, right? But you can only make good macro decisions if your micro works, and if your micro is like falling, apart at the seams, like the vision just glides through your hands and you have nothing left.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like you can pretend to be like some General Schwarzkopf,
Red
whatever.
Napoleon, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But at the end, like you're gonna lose all of your 1v1s and you lose base caps. Keep that plan back in the drawer, General.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like basically, if your one infantry squad is better than your other squad based on a basic point hold, it can be like you can both make the right decision to go for that one base, but if you just win, there's not much you can do tactically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do think there is things you can do, like being the first to the backup, always keeping timers running on your opponents. But you're
Mhm.
right. In the end, you need the individual skill to back it up. It all doesn't matter when you don't have that.
I guess like also like force multipliers can help in that for sure. Because I think Hot runs a lot of maxes. I don't know if it's to meme or
Not
it's
a lot.
serious.
It's like usually like it depends, but they're just too strong if you don't use maxes. Like
Mhm.
we can help you. It's not that like it's for memes. They're actually like an insane anchor on the point hold. How you gonna get an NC max of the point if there's an engine taking care of it? You know, if it's like 2 or 4. Like if we have our entire platoon on Nexus and let's say we have 2 like
Mhm.
maxes per infantry squad, you'll have like 4 or 5 maxes there, and it's like, yeah, you can orbital strike, I guess.
Yeah, but orbital striking, like a lot of the times, the maxes, if they're really try hard,
Revived, yeah.
yeah, they get
Yep.
revived so quick they can suicide before the orbital strike hits even. And
Yes.
But that's
do the
that's like
revive.
one of those things that happen on live, and then you go to like a format with people that actually know what they're doing, and it just falls flat. Because on live, yeah, like if there's like a point room full of maxes, you can just OS and 2 minutes later just walk your infantry onto the point because nobody knows what they're doing. But in a format like Outfit Wars, like your medics are gonna be med tool mains as soon as that light in the sky comes up. So there's
Yeah.
no real point. Like you gotta really time it.
I mean, it all comes down to a fundamental problem, no, and that's that like stuff like maxes or shotguns the way they are right now. They make the game into a binary equation, no? It's like a stat check, right?
Mhm.
You don't bring enough maxes to our max point hold, lose, right? You don't bring a shotgun, you bring like an automatic weapon to a shotgun jackhammer fight, like you lose, and so it's like, then, so, right, this is why I said, like, if shotguns weren't so strong right now, then the skill disparity would be even higher, right? Because right now a lot of skill expression is reduced, right, by the way the meta runs.
Mhm.
And so it's like I really think that it just shows like what is like PlaySide at its most competitive level, where it's like shotgun res wars max shenanigans, and it's like I mean, like we yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you can tell how much fun that is. Honk honk.
I'm assuming everyone here saw the competitive PlanetSide GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so accurate. It's so good.
I think it would be. Would you guys want, for example, the Outfit Wars to stay as it is, or would you say like it would be interesting to have a few rules in to prevent that sort from happening?
You mean like
Fix the
weapon
game,
restrictions?
Oh yeah,
or-
literally like not being able to like select certain weapons, etc. I'm not even saying what weapons that should be.
I don't think that would be good. I think it should stay close to the live gameplay. I think otherwise it's too alienating to like newer teams and like more casual teams. I think I think Outfit Wars just close the issue with the live gameplay, like more close the issues more really, just like more just tilt down. Like just fix the issue on live. But,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
bridging to require probably.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean it's up to the teams to use the tools given, right?
True.
I mean, you can't blame the player, no. Like if
I'm
if
not
you
blaming
put, like,
players
No,
at all.
but but like conceptually,
Mhm.
right? Because it's like sure you can put like weapon restrictions in, you put like a speed break on it, whatever. But the matter of fact is like life works the same way, and I also think like at the moment it's alienating like a lot of people. Like I know like personally, like a lot of people, including myself, are not gonna play PlanSide for a while after Outfit Wars, and that's sad because like we are the people that played it for 10 years and want to get good and stay around, and we say, oh well, there's no much point anymore. Like it doesn't matter how good you can quad think if like some individual with a shotgun just blindsides you like good times, and then we reverse that logic and use that on Nexus, because it doesn't matter how good you are if I blindside shotgun you, like great times, across a triple stack. So cool.
Yeah, I think I would say there is less burnout personally, at least for RedMist at least. That's what I can say for this Outfit Wars versus the last one, because like we're 1 week out of the tournament and we're already doing ops again basically, and people are attending again.
I think the format is definitely not burning us out as hard as the last ones for sure. Like
Yes.
I think it's more that like my teams just burn out us from live, but that's a whole nother discussion. But I think what does burn out people is just organizing 48 players. The leadership side of things is so demanding, and the game gives you like no tools for it. I mean, the best you get is a platoon and platoon waypoints. That's about it. And organizing for 48 players is a hell of a lot of effort. And I'm very fortunate that I have experience doing this, and I have a team of people that know what to do. I don't need to organize a lot. It must be so much worse for people with newer teams.
It's also kind of crazy if you think how much like time goes into it. Like if you put it all together, like obviously, like a few hours, like making an opener and getting the people together, all of that. But if you think about it, no, like there's like basically 100 people taking like at least 1.5 hours of their free time to play this on a weekend. When I could be like working out, doing stuff with my friends, doing stuff for uni or whatnot.
I mean,
so
you're supposed to enjoy it, right? It's supposed to
Yeah.
be your free time that you enjoy. So I don't know. I think it's fine to spend that time. If
Yeah,
you
but
don't
just
enjoy it, you
conceptually.
shouldn't play it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure, if you like, a lot of people put in the time and are also happy to put in the time. I can understand for newer teams that have like, I would say, only a few people organizing things, then you have an issue. I think that I felt was also an issue with boys, even though it was like Dallas decided everything. Like I don't think if Dallas wasn't there, for example, that there wouldn't be any participation probably. Or maybe there would be more, I don't know. But I feel like if you have an outfit and you want to compete, you need more than one leader to step up and do work. Otherwise, you won't make it, because if your one leader isn't there, you should still be able to field 48 people.
I think I'm basically solo leading Hydra.
Yeah.
I'm basically doing everything, but it's a completely different story than leading boys, because I don't need to run after people for 3 hours and get people to sign up and explain to them what to do, because they know what to do. Like it just doesn't compare, I think. So it can work, but it is definitely extremely exhausting. And I don't want another Outfit Wars for at least like, I don't know, another 6 months or something.
I think it's also very hard, right, to keep 48 people interested for like the full weeks of the tournament, and even like going through stomps in the matches. Like a lot of people give up after the first stomp.
I think like Smile said this in the first or second episode as well, that the mental game really decides who sticks around in the long term. Like, sure, you get stumped once, maybe you're not gonna feel as many people, maybe next time, not everybody's gonna show up because why would I get farmed by hot if I can just, work out, do stuff with my family,
Or
all
play
of that.
live.
Yeah, I mean, if you I don't know, then there's no helping you if you choose, like, because at least like Outfit Wars, Outfit Wars had at least the allure that you're playing with friends and people that you like, and so that's the real reward. If anybody asks me like why would I play it, it's like, yeah, to play with the people I like, and that
Trust
just
me,
makes me.
There's people for everything.
That's why I'm putting in the effort, because I want to play this format with my friends, because it's fun.
Exactly.
It's not like.
I think it's interesting. Like it's only like for sure for the more veteran players. It's like it's something they didn't like. They played lane smash and all that stuff, but there wasn't much platoon versus platoon action before. It's a fully new map, so people are interested also playing something different than the same basis on the continents. So it's like also about doing new stuff. It's sad that some people that actually wanted to play didn't get to play Outfit Wars as well, I think. Because we had 11 outfits signed up on Cobalt.
Yeah.
This reminds me when. Oh yeah, that's true. We had one got yeeted out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CBMC, I think, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. But it reminds me, no, like the one thing we talked about the boys a little bit, no, and maybe some listeners. I mean, I guess people know, no, they had like a no show, and I saw some pictures from the Discord, dude. That actually made me like despair. Yeah, like it's unreal. Like that is decided pretty much like an hour before. Like, oh, I'm not gonna do it, and we had like one dude, and he goes like, oh, I took a free day for it.
Oh,
I
no.
skipped out on this. It's like, please, I trained. I wanted to get better. And like he just spits in the face of all the people that wanted to improve. That is so like absolutely saddening, dude. So crushing to read it. Oh my god.
Yeah. The thing is also like, well, I think people like that. Okay, this happened now, but I don't think that person, or I would be very surprised, unless his friends are, of course, some boys. Like, I think those people will move on and will go to outfits that actually participate and try their best at least. I don't see somebody of that going into like hot directly or something like that. Maybe they try, who knows? But they probably they could move on to like other outfits that are trying.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
that's yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's like
like
1 versus 4, right? That's there's definitely stepping stones there that you can move up to. And that was one of the initial hopes that the devs had for Outfit Wars, that people would move on from the gigantic outfits because they don't get to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we could see that also in the amount of outfits signed up. If you compare to Miller, for example, they had like 20 people. 20 outfits signed up, and here everything is either casual stacked in like 500 people in one outfit, or it's get-togethers of a lot of people. So the matchups are not as diverse as they would be if we had more signups.
True, for sure. It is sad how Cobalt is. I think we had the least signups out of any server. I think even Connery had more.
Yeah.
Maybe Connery had the same. I'm not sure anymore. But it is really sad to see how dead the outfit scene has become on Cobalt.
Oh, it makes sense, no? If you think about it, like one thing that the saddest part about is that you don't see that many midfields around. Like like for example, I mean, I guess Urge played for Borg, right?
Yeah, Urge had a
It's
couple
a
of
fact
people
that
play
it's
for us.
We
Yeah,
also had some
Baghdad,
like
Milan.
Wyvern and Urge people.
Do you think it's mainly about the people requirement, though, like the amount you need, or do you think it would be more signups if it was like say 24 or 36?
No,
I could see it.
I actually don't.
Because Miller can do it with 48, and it's not that the player base numbers versus Cobalt is
It's
so
bigger,
much
no.
different than like it's not the difference in players. I think it's just like the difference in outfits that are actually willing to do it. I think that's the huge factor. That
If
the
you
different...
compare to other,
Oh, go ahead. Sir.
okay, if you compare to other servers, for sure. But I do think if we had smaller team sizes, that we could see more teams. I think it's very likely that we would. Obviously, never guaranteed, because a lot of people might still want to play with each other because they're like, "Well, we played together so far. Let's stick together." But I do think we could see more teams, and I do think it would take a lot of stress off the leadership roles.
I think Cobalt is like in a uniquely toxic state in comparison to other servers. Like, I just think about this way. No, a lot of the pop is already sucked up by a lot of these like boys and 3PG, and we had like 91 AR until the incident.
Rest in pepperoni, yeah.
Yeah, but like conceptually speaking, a lot of players just get sucked into these circuits, and it's whatever. Like boys could probably make like three Outfit Wars teams if they wanted to, right? But they breed a mindset that that just doesn't like make it like desirable to do so. And the other part is also, I mean, obviously, like I think a lot of people were expecting hot to be more like T. Like if you're really not into the server scene at all, right? You would think like or like I can't wait to sign up for the stack fit to kick my teeth in, kind of that mindset. And so some people just didn't sign up.
Yeah, I think T definitely played a role in a lot of like people's perception of how Outfit Wars is gonna go for them. Even though T got kicked out hard in the third season.
Oh, yeah,
But,
true.
Yeah, but like that Outfit Wars, I wouldn't say you can compare it to this one. Like there were more teams, I think,
true.
signing up to that one, but it was like didn't like it mattered a bit how good you were, but on one side it didn't matter as much because the other team could basically decide who wins, even if you're not the strongest. That makes
It's
sense.
like less scary. It's less scary. It's not a straight up 1v1. You don't look the bull straight into the eyes before it scores you.
Here, basically, I would say you can predict, like, other than the DR versus Hydra game, most of the games you could easily probably predict who was gonna win, and I would say most of the predictions were all right. I think the 1 versus 4 versus Buck games, like a few of them were very interesting. But other than that, most of them were like semi-clear victories, or some very clear as well.
I was not too sure about the Hydra RedMist matches, and it did go like we won 2, you won 1, and I wasn't sure how that'd go beforehand, honestly. So, and you mentioned 1 versus 4 versus Borg. Those I think could have also gone either way. I would have said before the match. Clearly didn't play out that way, and Borg had a way stronger showing. But I think there was definitely matches that could have gone either way. It's just, as you said, we have such a small like group or pool of outfits on Cobalt that there's not going to be that many close matches.
Yeah.
Also, looking back at this with the signups and stuff, do you think that with the impact that Air has and the steep like skill entry level to get into Air and to stay in Air has a factor on people that are signing up?
I think that's too intricate. Like it could be like in hindsight, right? If you look at it and think like, oh, air is really important, now it makes sense, like but I think that like if I would have to make a prediction, I would say that that's not the case. I mean, I guess Cobalt Air is kind of like centered around a few individual outfits anyway, but I don't know, like 1v4 has like no they're not afraid at all about that, even though they know they don't have maybe the most like potent air, right? So
Yeah,
I would say no.
I guess it's been the same with the RedMist over the competitive events as well. Like in Lane Smash and stuff, we brought in other outfits for the air, so we never used it this time. Though we've had some like in-house RedMist people try to go in the air, and I know I've been like getting my ass beat for 2 months on live before this, and it's very harsh.
Yeah, I think.
I also go ahead.
I think for people trying to fly on Cobalt, it's rough. It ain't.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
like Cobalt is like air-wise. There's I don't know how other servers are personally. I'm not too sure, but I know
It's not as bad.
I know
it's
when
the
I
worst on Cobalt.
I know if I
easier to fly
fly
on
on
Miller.
Cobalt, I'm having a very rough time because I'm not a pilot at all, but just sometimes fly for frenzy. I think that matters as well for people getting into air. If you constantly get smashed down, you're just gonna have less pilots in general.
Yeah, I think if you want to learn to fly nowadays, you can do it on live, but really what you got to do is like go to the flight school Discord, start 1v1ing people, go to air pickup, stuff like that. Like life is just, Cobalt's by far the worst from what pilots tell me, but life is just not a good place to improve in air-to-air.
It's hard to get good team fights though, like actual what you would face in like competitive games and stuff if you go on the
Group
flight school.
fighting.
But
you
group
can
fighting.
replicate you
But,
can replicate, like
Yeah,
once you are trying to get better, you can replicate that pretty well though, like but I think the bigger issue with that is you really like the barrier of entry is so high, right? Like this is the
Yeah.
real issue. If you could pick up an ESF and like had like half a brain and you could still do okay, then it would be okay. But no, you have like random mouse acceleration and like shenanigans, and if you don't make like a triple period, backflip before you sit in an ESF, it just won't work out, right? And so I just don't see. I think that's like the main problem. If it was like easier to fly, and like let's say the skill ceiling is still super high, but the skill floor just gets adjusted, then like it would be fine, right? But right now it's like a good pilot just like shits on a bad pilot like so
Oh,
hard.
for sure.
There's no different.
Yeah.
But no, not no difference. There's like just the difference between the two is like so astronomically high that there's almost no reason to like, or no motivation to try and improve for the new pilot.
But I guess a very good infantryman will also really shit on a bad infantryman. But the good thing is, for the bad infantryman, there's just a lot more other bad infantrymen on the floor, if that makes sense.
It's
For
also
sure. You can also get luckier. Like you have faster time to kills. You have like you
True.
kill an infantry person in what 3-4 bullets if you land headshots, so a maximum of 10 bullets. And if you like killing an ESF takes how many?
Also, the
50
infantryman only
bullets.
moves in one axis usually.
It's
And
much
you-
easier to get lucky and just like win a fight because team up against them.
And you can come back in a lot faster. Like it takes you 6
True.
seconds to get back into the fight. But if you lost an air duel, like if you got completely raffle stomped in an air duel, it's like, okay, back to warp gate. Let's pull another ESF. Oh, he's waiting for me outside of the warp gate. Fun.
But the pace problem, if you wanna, I mean, I don't know about the last point. I disagree with that. Like getting killed on as an infantryman, like can be way more painful. Especially like like you get killed, you only fight on the continent, gets destroyed by like some like C4 ferry, and then you just sit at the map for 10 minutes waiting for the next fight.
Yeah,
But-
I guess.
Yeah, but it's like with the air, like I think just the way the fights are is what makes it so frustrating.
Yeah.
And of course, again, like don't if you don't fix mouse acceleration, if you don't use like a third-party emulator to get rid of it or try to get rid of it, like you're gonna have like a way worse time. And so it's I don't know, it's just cringe. Like it's fundamentally broken, and so not many people play it, and like.
Is
put
that
up with
widely
the
used?
bullshit.
The max acceleration removal.
I know it doesn't work fully as well. I know Cedric uses it. I know Testmir is not a big fan of it and doesn't use it. I think Cedric's like pretty much the only person I know that uses it. But I could be wrong though. I don't know. But it does exist.
Mm.
Yeah, let's go into the prediction of next week. Let's start with MrMurdok. Who will win Cobalt Outfit Wars?
The ultimate winner, the number one, the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if H all wake up on the same time and the planets align, I think they got this.
Do you want to like back it up with anything? Why do you think they got it?
Yeah, sure. So they have a lot of experience on their side, in my opinion, and their personal skill is very high. And like I said, like I'll keep thumping on that until the day I die. But when you're reaching that level of knowledge in the game, like the leadership decisions are gonna be negligent at best. Maybe like the PL or FC or whatever you want to call it is gonna catch something on the map. But most of the time, like these guys know what they're doing. They're gonna be able to set up backgaps or logistics or whatever on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gonna come down to who can click head better, and I'm pretty sure H can do it better. I might be wrong, but that's my opinion.
Okay, buskala, what do you think?
I think it'll be pretty even, to be honest. As we saw before, can hope both teams can bring the usual players and their A team, and it's gonna be a thing of like who can see and exploit the misses or like the weaknesses quicker and move around the map and have like proper logistics. And about the air, I'm not I'm not sure, to be honest. Depends. Like if you have a lot of galaxies and stuff up, you're gonna be less people on the ground, right, in infantry. But they're also providing spawns, and for example, there's some cheeky tricks you can do with the galaxies. Like if you have a hard time capping the nexus base, you could maybe try use 2 rep gauss and like use a Citadel shield and camp them on top of the weak point.
Yeah.
You can delay it a bit and get some people up and stop their air to ground.
Yeah, I would say it was very interesting to see Age barely using galaxies, and then I think Hot uses basically one for close to every squad, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, so like it's interesting because they both have a different playstyle, I would say, in that way. Gretchen.
We just don't have anyone that's willing to do it. Honestly, that's
yeah, they're too good not to use. But it's just like if nobody wants to, like, it's kind of a tedious job for us as well.
Yeah.
We have like a Google Doc, and every time we sign up for a thing, it's like, did you drove a galaxy last match?
Oh
And
no!
If yes, then you can
You're safe.
like say to do something else. Yeah.
If yes, you're safe. If no, you're fucked. So yeah, Gretchen, how will you win versus Hot next week?
I mean, obviously, I gotta say we will win, right? I gotta keep team morale up. But I think if we get a good roster, which I won't know yet, because I'm not posting signups until we know the time when the match will happen, which I think is in like an hour or two. I think if we get a good roster, it will be a very competitive match and hopefully a very fun match as well. And I could honestly, like as a non-member, I could see either side win. I really can't say, but obviously I gotta say we win.
Okay, Schmiddy, and how are you gonna beat Age?
Well, can't say how, but if we bring our best people and they bring their best people, I would say we win something like 7 out of 10 times. I would say something like that. But I think we'll win this. But I honestly I'm looking more forward to the match than to the victory. Like if the match is good, I'm fine. If it's but we'll see how much of a clown fest it evolves into, because it's like this is one of the it's like NC versus NC in the finale, which by the way is also very telling about the current meta Hong Kong. But it's I think we'll win it. Yeah.
You know what? I'll offer you, if to make it a fun match, I'll offer you a truce of no one uses air and no one uses vehicles except for spawns, and we just play infantry. We see how it goes. No shotguns. And we play 6v6 and we go to Hossen on Aiken Supper.
The thing is, in my dream world, I would say yes to this, but of course I have no authority doing it. And it's also,
I don't think that's what people signed up for either. I don't think that
exactly.
would be fair.
It's also that I honestly think that some people are so burned out of it. I'm kind of looking forward to not of Outfit Wars, but of Plan Side, right? I said this before on Ashi's stream, that I do think that Outfit Wars is in the best state it has ever been, and Plan Side is in the worst state it's ever been. And after this Outfit Wars has been concluded, I will deinstall it and not come back for a year or a year and a half until the next Outfit Wars, just like what happened last Outfit Wars. Or maybe not at all, I don't know, right? But it's I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the sad part about it. But the match I'm looking forward to, and I hope better Outfit wins, I guess.
I think there was a worse state of PlanetSide. It was when Spitfires were in your tactical slot and the entire game was just Spitfires and you couldn't play the game.
I think there was one Outfit Wars
that
as well. I think
the first one.
Yeah, the first one, if you didn't have a Spitfire in your tactical slot, it wasn't a smart idea. I remember every point literally being a Spitfire maniac place.
We can hope they take something out of this though and makes a balance pass, but it's unlikely, I guess.
Oh, come on.
I hope they learn of Outfit Wars to see what's the meta and to help see what's wrong. And then
even watching.
And then I also hope that they also look at how to make fights more even on live, like they did in the past, but now reverted. But I guess we'll see. I personally think that if H brings their best roster, it will be a super close game. And I really hope they do. I really hope they have the people for it. What I also want to do is shout out our man Subrowski. Somebody told me he's a very big fan, so I need to give him a shout out. And I also want to thank you all for attending this Outfit Wars episode.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you for hosting.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.